After 1.5 months of heart-pounding, intense NBA playoff action, we have finally arrived. The whole NBA playoff field has been whittled down to two teams, one of whom is going to be hoisting the Larry O'Brien Trophy for the first time ever in the coming weeks. It's going to be very interesting to see who wins between the Indiana Pacers, led by the incomparably zesty Tyrese Haliburton, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder, a team that stormed through the regular season and then dominated the Minnesota Timberwolves en route to their second, I believe it is, ever NBA Finals. Going to be riveting stuff here and to see exactly how these finals play out. Game one's happening just behind me over here, still early on. There's a number of storylines to think about here. We've got the fact that, well, at most sports books, OKC is minus 700 to win the whole thing. I'm not a betting man. I'm off betting, or so I say. But the fact of the matter is, you gotta sprinkle some dollars on Indiana. This is a team that has been poised to upset. This has a team that has upset their way through these playoffs, and they've done it in convincing fashion. Put away the Bucks in 5 games. Put away the Cavs in 5 games. Put away the Knicks in 6. They were never bothered. They were never, honestly, that much in danger of losing a series. It was pedal to the metal, and they did it with a collective effort of just offensive onslaught and relatively solid defensive stinginess, which is, incidentally, what OKC prides themselves on. These two teams are very similar in my mind. They're so similar, in fact, that I find it hard to understand why it is that OKC is such convincing favorites. Look, don't get me wrong. OKC was good from the get-go this year. They mowed through the regular season. And yes, for the most part, aside from their series versus Denver, they've mowed through these playoffs. But minus 700 is pretty insane if you think about it. These Pacers are coming for you. They're feisty. They're young. They're led by this guy named Tyrese Haliburton, who, has an unorthodox shot form, but he's damn effective. Bloody good player. Don't get me wrong. I think SGA is a more established superstar, but at the end of the day, these Pacers are going to give the Thunder a run for their money. It's going to be very interesting. I think the series rests on a knife's edge. A couple big plays here or there, swing the whole thing. And yes, it is my contention that this series is going to 7 games and that the home team is winning every single game because I think the home court advantages are that good. Both of these fan bases are rabid for their first championship. And I would not be shocked if this series ends up at a game 7 and it's down to the wire. Could be an instant classic, and I am totally here for it. Look, don't get me wrong. These are two minuscule markets in the NBA. Yet the quality of these teams is not to be overlooked. Both are built on a similar philosophy of depth, youth, and just, collective energy. I would say that Indiana's offensive floor is perhaps higher than that of OKC's, and OKC's defensive floor is definitely higher than Indiana's, but both are no slouches on either side of the ball. It's going to be very interesting to see how Indiana's role players, especially I'm looking at Aaron Nesmith and Nembhard, handle the defensive pressure from OKC. And likewise, it's going to be interesting to see if Indiana gets hot, how OKC handles it. I think that these teams' two strengths, their OKC's defense and Indiana's offense, could potentially neutralize each other somewhat. And it's going to be players like Cason Wallace or perhaps a TJ McConnell that make the crucial plays down the stretch that could sway the series either way. I see this series going 7 games. That is not minus 700 odds. That is outrageous to me. Now, if OKC goes out and kicks Indiana's ass, look, that's on me. But those odds for Indiana look damn good if you're better. Plus 500, sprinkle a couple bucks on it, man. It's going to be very interesting. I think right now OKC holds a slight lead. It's early on. Leads at this point in an NBA game really don't mean much at all. But the crowd's into it, and you make a couple three balls, things can get out of control in a hurry. All right. I know it was brief, but honestly, there's not much more to say about these finals until at least we've got a couple games under our belts. So I'm going to move on to our next segment.
Burning Questions with HuPAC.
All right, today's burning questions. We've got a couple zingers. The first of which is kind of a 2-for-1 deal. Actually, they're both 2-for-1 deals, but the first one is, what are your thoughts on bowling, and are you in a relationship? Wow. We're going there today. All right. So, my thoughts on bowling. I've got mixed feelings about bowling. The sport itself I have no issue with. Rolling a ball down a wooden lane to knock over some pins. It's a worthy thing to do, worthy way to spend one's time. It's about everything else, though, that surrounds bowling that really freaking bothers me. Because we've got these balls, man. These balls that are just community sort of handled. Just coated in grime. What is going on inside those holes that you're supposed to put your fingers in? I don't want to think about that, fam. That is disturbing stuff. What's going on with the shoes they're giving you? This place I went to, incidentally, he asked, I don't go very often, but this place I went to last Saturday, the shoes had Velcro strips on. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Sorry, straps. Velcro straps on them, and I'm supposed to wear this thing? Looking like a freaking doofus? Look, I get it. When you go out on the lanes, you're not trying to win any kind of fashion show, but holy crap, what are these things? Do the employees at the bowling alley, all of whom look like they're on some variation of stimulant, do they think that we're either too stupid to lace up a pair of shoes or too drunk to take them off? Because the alcoholic offerings at these places is damn prolific. I've got questions about the shoes, folks. But that's not the most disgusting thing about what's going on in this establishment. There's just grime everywhere. They have these leather couches set up behind each lane. What, are you supposed to sit there and enjoy yourself? Give me a break. Sorry. Moving on. Are you in a relationship? That's a good question. But the answer is no. And you will be you won't be the first to know. You probably won't be the second or third either, but you won't be the last. So I will inform you when I'm no longer single. I would say I'm single and ready to mingle. Not quite there yet. Close. Not quite there. Good question, though. Our second question today is another banger of a question. One that might take me a while to answer. What's your favorite beer to drink and preferred underwear brand? Oh, wow. Those are questions I think about a lot. Actually, the first one is, what's my favorite beer to drink? Man, there's so many good ones, right? Because think about it. You could go to each brand, and each brand's got 5 or 6 decent ones. Think about it. We got Sam Adams. Sam Adams rolls out their Oktoberfest. They got their Jacko. They got their Boston Lager. They got their Winter Lager. You got your Cherry Wheat. You got your Porch Rocker. You got your Breakaway Blonde. It's insane what's going on out there at Sam Adams, man. Those Bostonians know what the hell they're up to in the brewery kind of sector. Then we've got Rheingeist here in Cincinnati. Fantastic little spot. You got your bubbles. You got your Imperial bubbles. You got your Truth. You got your Juicy Truth. I'm a big fan of hazy IPAs, by the way. You've got the king of all the heavy hitters. I can't remember what it's called. The Truth Bomb, clocking in at 9.5% ABV. Impeccable. Absolutely fantastic beverages. Then you head over to Braxton, here in Northern Kentucky. They got a couple heavy hitters that I'm equally fond of. You got the light hitter. You got their Golden Storm or whatever, their Storm Golden Cream Ale. Then you've got their Tropic Flare, which I am particularly fond of. And you've got this Blood Orange Radler, which is a little exotic, perhaps, but it's damn good. Then we've got Sierra Nevada. Not in this area, but man, you can purchase their stuff just about anywhere. with a couple of fantastic things. I especially like, I should say, they're really delightful little thing hazy IPAs. Oh, man. There are some people that are going to accuse me of getting swept up in some sort of mimetic contagion on this fad of IPAs. But the fact of the matter is, I really freaking like them. They're so good, man. Anyway, so that's a lot of beers that I like. But that doesn't really scratch the surface. What's my favorite, man? That's like trying to pick a favorite child. Can't do it. Not in good conscience, anyway. Oh, and what's my preferred underwear brands? This is actually one that's it's a probing question, so to speak, but this is one I haven't thought a lot about. But I have to say I'm pretty happy with how Hanes is treating me at the moment. Growing up, I think I was more invested in sort of Fruit of the Loom. Fruit of the Loom, aside from having an absolute banger of a name, served me well growing up. Can't complain about that. No regrets really in the underwear side of things. Also, when it comes to long underwear for the winter, I don't really have any preferred brand. I don't really wear it that much, but it's good to have on hand in case the nights get a little frosty. Yeah, so that's it for this episode's edition of Burning Questions. Wrapping up here, I'm just thinking about these NBA finals. It's going to be a great opportunity to sample some of these beers that I mentioned just now. It's also going to be a great opportunity for you, not that I condone it by any means, but maybe to get into the world of sports betting. It's a good way to drop a few dollars. It's a good way to lose some money. Yes, but, there's hope in it. And I think all this world needs right now is a little bit more hope, right? Just some hope, man. It's cheap. Well, not if you're sports betting, but it's not hard to have if you've got a little money. And you don't have to bet a lot of your money. Just bet a little bit, man. Live a little. Crack open a cold one. Crack open a few cold ones, man. And enjoy these NBA finals because they're going to be terrific. All right, that's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in. As always, this was, I think, episode 7 of HuPAC Talk, hosted by me, your host, HuPAC, the show where I discuss the things I want to talk about when I want to talk about them. Thanks for tuning in. I will talk to you next time.